What's up, my peoples? I am Gandhi, and today this is Gandhi's Thoughts number 38. First things first, I'm going to congratulate myself here. If you're wondering why I'm clean-shaven, it's because I had a job interview today for a correctional officer position. I smoked the PT test, only missed 2 questions on the written exam, so now all I have to do is wait on the polygraph. Bad polygraph, which isn't that bad. It's just a couple questions, yes, no, check your heart rate. Not a big deal, but that happens May 22nd, so I'm fucking pumped, right? I'm on cloud 9, right? It doesn't matter. Anything can happen right now. It doesn't matter. I did it. So, anyways, let's talk Halo. So, yesterday, it was announced that Warriors is going to make a team change. Now, a lot of people, and myself included, thought, probably not APG, that Goofy was going to be the one to be dropped, and everyone had their eye on APG, right? APG has played amazing every single event. Now, in case you're just tuning in to figure out like what's going on with APG, so APG used to be on Ambush. It's a very, very, very good player, and they won pretty handily in that event. They won at AGL4. They won like 6-1 over Warriors. Everyone's like, wow, this team's amazing. But then Pistola started to play again, and basically you couldn't pass up Pistola. So Ambush grabs Pistola, APG gets dropped. He finds himself on status quo for AGL Knoxville, which is like the best event up to this day because there's a lot better teams, a lot of old faces coming back, and they placed 4th. So it wasn't the best, and plus, then on top of that, even though APG was probably the best on the team at that event, status quo drops him. And the reason they drop him is because they're kind of going for a publicity stunt, as I like to call it, because it really makes no other sense as to why they're teaming with their old original lineup. Now, a lot of people are happy for the original lineup, and I am too. I hope they actually put in the dedication. I hope they play. But regardless, APG gets dropped for Ace and Enable, so that's status quo now. So status quo consists of Enable, Flame Sword, Ace, and Assault. It's a good team. They've won 2 events together, and that's that. So APG was kind of floating around. And at this last event at AGL6 Pittsburgh, APG had the chance team with Ninja. It was APG, Ninja, Snipe Down, and Proverb. And this team was kind of thrown together because a lot of teams didn't get team passes, and there wasn't much on it. But so when Ninja was playing with APG, he realized, he said, shit, dude, like this guy is super talented. He's always in the right positions. He's always moving. And the best part about APG, which is something everyone's going to notice just because, now he's kind of in the spotlight. And the reason he's in the spotlight now is because he's on Ninja's team. And Ninja has the spotlight on him, obviously. Yeah, of course, Ambush does, but Ninja's kind of the face of Halo as it stands. Rightfully so, though, right? So APG is finally going to have a lot of spotlight on him, and people are going to realize how talented this guy is. He's very, very fast. When you watch him play, he doesn't stand still, like, ever. He's always sprinting. He's always trying to get a better angle. He's always trying to do something better for his team. And at Pittsburgh, I mean, he made BTH his bitch. He had a killing frenzy. He had an overkill. He had countless amount of killing sprees. He was doing it all. And so now, moving forward here, after that event, Ninja was like, well, we have to make a team change. And I guess he talked to Legit, and he was like, hey, Legit, like, what do we want to do? And Ninja last night on Go Beyond's First Strike, which I'm a part of as well. If you guys haven't gotten the chance to watch that show, definitely watch it. It's good. We end up always getting back to, like, what Halo needs, and, we're working on that, right? Like, we realize that we always do that, so we're trying to cut that out. But anyways, so Ninja said, when I was thinking about it, I just thought that Faisal, which is Goofy and Legit have better chemistry than Ryanoob and Legit. And that's kind of where it came down to. It really comes down to chemistry, because when you think about it, this team, when you're a team, I mean, you're playing countless amount of hours together, and if you're not getting along or if stuff's not clicking, there's no point in being a part of that team anymore, right? Because it's kind of a job in its own way. I mean, bare minimum, you're playing like 4, maybe 5 hours together. So imagine playing 4 to 5 hours with someone who you just don't get along with, or the chemistry's not good. You're going to shoot yourself in the head. It's not even fun. It's not even worth it. It's like, why am I wasting my time putting all this effort in if it's not going to happen? So they part with noobs with Ryanoob, and now they pick up APG. On paper, this team's scary. And the reason it's super scary is because Legit is essentially the exact same player as APG. Now, APG is more skillful, obviously. APG is probably a top 5 player, but Legit has that untapped potential where he isn't going to mess up. He isn't. He knows how to play, he knows how to position himself, And that's that. He knows when to run the flags. He knows how to get in the other team's base. And now that it's a 4-shot, everyone have your eyes peeled for legit. He's going to be playing a lot now, and that's that. So APG and legit is going to be a duo. I'm calling it right now. You talk about the Hinds and Pistolas. You talk about the Flame Swords and Enables. You talk about, the Ogres. I'm not saying, and no one's ever going to be on the Ogres level, right? You talk about, me and Shockwave, the duos, Fonzie and Fallacy, T-Squared and Neighbor. It's going to be APG and legit. It's going to be kind of that next duo that people are going to have their eyes out for because they're just going to be so fun to watch. What better people to have on your team than two people who don't need power weapons to take a game over? And when you look at the game types, I think there's 4 or 5 solid BR maps without any power weapons on them, besides like an overshield or like a sticky detonator. Crazy. That puts it in a big advantage for them. And plus it kind of puts it, and then you start looking at game types, because the main thing about ambush is ambush maps with the sniper, it's going to be highly favored to their side. They have Snipe Down, who's probably the best sniper in the game, and they have Formo, who's probably the second best sniper in the game. That's how it works. And everyone knows that, and they have the ability of changing games for their team. And it's amazing to watch. It's so fun, especially casting, because you watch the game unfold in front of your eyes. You watch like it gets close, and then, 12:56 comes around, and Snipe Down grabs the sniper. Next thing you know, they have like a 7-kill lead. So fun to watch. But so it's going to be the same thing, but every single game. You're going to see your Station 9s, your Simplexes. I'm expecting Simplex to be Warriors, and I don't even know if they're going by Warriors now that I think about it. They may be changing their name. Oh, God, something in my eye. Oh, what is that? Oh, I think it was a gnat. Oh, it's the worst feeling in the world. I don't even know if they should go as Warriors anymore. The name's kind of like, meh. Like, it doesn't have a first place yet. It's notorious for second places and fourth places, so I would like to see a name change. Is that is that what matters right now? No, absolutely not. Fuck that. Who gives a shit about a name change? Go as the Pink Bunnies. I don't care. Has no impact on anything. So, when it's getting back to this, legit and APG as a duo is going to be disgusting to watch. It's going to be so fun for the viewer to watch, and it's going to be so fun for to play against too, because then that's going to increase the competition. And the one thing right now that Ambush knows is the fact that they cannot slack off. If Ambush slacks off, and I'm not saying they have to play every day, 7 hours a day, 3 hours a day. I'm saying if they're not putting in at least 4 to 5 days a week of practicing, of solid practicing, not like going into throwdown. Well, now you kind of have to play customs, which we'll get into in a second. But so if they're not putting in 4 to 5 days of practice, it's going to be, they're just going to get the floor mopped up with them. But now here's something that's interesting. You guys ready for this one? The suspense, so I could drink my coffee. So Faisal, which is Goofy, is going to be going to Pakistan for the next 2 weeks. Now the event, for those of you who are paying attention, is in 3 weeks. So the event's in 3 weeks. He's going to be gone for 2 of them. And right away, the first thing you have to say is, well, why in the flying fuck would they drop Ryanoob knowing that Goofy's going to peace out? And I agree with you. I think it's foolish to an extent. Will it work out in the long haul? It might. I don't know. The only time's going to tell. But so that's going to be the big problem here. So the short-term effect with Goofy going to Pakistan for 2 weeks, hopefully he brings his Xbox so he can at least shoot something. But I don't know. I don't know him like that. And if someone knows that he's going to bring that, awesome. But it's not like he can play online. So all members of Warriors know this, and APG came into this knowing. So instead what they did was something that we haven't seen for a very, very, very long time. Now, I wasn't the best at keeping up in Halo 3 with paying attention to substitutes and, stuff of that nature. But back in the day, on 2006 Carbon, when Ghost Ayami would never get on because he just... 2006 and 2007, Ghost was joining a frat, and he didn't give a shit about playing online. He was just like, I'm going to show up on lane, which he did, so, rightfully so. We picked up a sub. Now, we used to play with Scrub Twist, and now, when you're talking about a sub here, the sub is very, very unique. You have to have a good player, but you don't necessarily want, like, the best best player in the world. So Warriors is picking up Elitist. Now, Elitist had a very, very good previous event, but he's announced his retirement. So he's going to be practicing with Warriors, and the main reason you want to pick up a player who's good, and maybe not God, because then it's just not realistic. The main reason you want to pick up that player is so that everything's fluent. So you're working on your strategies, you're working on your positioning, and the three of you are going to be fine. And so you're going to be working on every single thing. You're going to be going over strats, you're going to be going about placements, you're going to be working on your shots, everything. And so Elitist is going to, that's good for Elitist, and I hope Elitist doesn't quit. And everyone knows kind of how I feel about Elitist. I think he's just a troll. But he had a good event, and I kind of hope he stays around to see what the guy's got. So he's going to be playing with Warriors. It's going to be a fucking amazing for him. He's going to learn so much. Playing with people like Ninja and APG and Legit, you just learn so much about Force. You just soak up the knowledge. And it's going to be good. So it's going to be very beneficial to him. But so when they're practicing, they'll be using Elitist for about the next 2 weeks. It's going to be like, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, they're losing because of Elitist. And the thing is Warriors has to make sure, like every time we lost with Scrub Toast back in 06 and 07, it wasn't his fault. Sure, in the back of the minds, we were like, oh yeah, this is what we did wrong, but no. Because if you have the ability of teaching someone where they're supposed to go, how they're supposed to play, which you have to do with the player who's not playing, so you essentially, when Goofy returns, Ninja and them, they're going to have like 10-hour sessions a day. They're going to be grinding hard because they have to, because a big tournament's on the line. But when he comes back, he's going to have to relearn everything. And if they can't convey their thoughts correctly to him as to how they want him to play or where he should be, then they're fucked. So by having Elitist, who's someone who's completely new, they're going to be able to teach him every single thing, and they're going to be able to learn with him, and they're going to mold him into the player that Goofy should be. Now, when Goofy comes back, that's going to help them with everything. And they're going to be like, oh, well, this is what works, this is what doesn't, I would avoid this, this happens all the time, get the fuck out of there, that's no bueno. So that's awesome. So looking at it, although Goofy's piecing out for 2 weeks to go to Pakistan, I still think, I don't see them falling outside of the top 2. I don't. But so, something I talked about a little bit earlier that I want to cover right now is I mentioned that everyone has to be playing customs now. So, this is important. This is important for everyone in the competitive scene. I know a lot of people may not have Twitter, or a couple of my subscribers may not have Twitter, or they're not staying up on it, but they want to attend Knoxville. You have to get the game types. You have to get 4SK game types, and you have to get V4 settings, which will be dropping soon. I don't know. Ghost announced what game types he will be using, but I don't know if he put them up in his file share. But right now, in Diesel's, the Coach of Ambush's file share, you're going to find the 4SK settings. His name is D. I throw up an L because it's the next one. It is DLESEL. One more time, DLESEL. Now, in those file share, you're going to find the 4SK settings, and that is what everyone has to be practicing. Because, as everyone knows, weapon tuning gets dropped June 3rd. The event is June 7th. You have to be practicing these game types. No longer can you go into Throwdown. It's not going to help you. Every time you get on, you have to find a custom, and I know it sucks. Now, it sucks for me, because I am a very, very, very convenient person. If something's convenient to me, I'm going to do it. That's one of the main reasons why, Throwdown was so nice for me. That's one of the main reasons I got back into it, because Reach, you always had to find customs, remember? Because MLG Playlist was just like a fucking shit show. It's just like trash can after awful player, after a bunch of birds, and birds is a new thing. I'm calling people who suck birds because I think birds suck. So, you have birds, you have trash cans, you just have awful players just littering the field in the MLG Halo Reach playlist. So it was a waste of time, so you had to play customs. And I know it sucks, and it's very, very, it's a big hindrance. But you're gonna have to make that mentality for the next 3 weeks. You can't practice in Throwdown because it's going to be a different game. And the main reason it's going to be different is because the 4-shot kill is going to change a lot of things. The first thing it's going to change is sprint. I've played it a couple times, and when I say a couple, I've probably played about 11 games on it. You can't just sprint mindlessly. You really, really, really can't. You have to be very methodical with it. You have to think about your sprints. You can't just sprint to sprint. You're dead every single time. The second thing it changes is map positioning. So Ninja was talking about it a little bit last night, and he was saying how the perfect 4-shot is if you're top pink, or top purple rather, on simplex. When you're top purple and there's a guy in like red or blue window, you can shoot him, and you get 2 shots in him, and by the time you jump and land top middle, you'll be able to 4 that guy. So that's how quick it is, right? So by the time you're 1, 2, jump, 3, 4, that's the perfect 4 shot. So everything's going to speed up here. And the main thing that's going to change is, you know, kind of how in Halo Reach, well, okay, so here's how it breaks down. In Halo Reach, and in Halo Reach and in Halo 4, the main objective was getting in the enemy team's base. And the reason you want to get in their base is because you can control their spawns. So the first thing you should always be doing is spawning, trying to get into the other team's base if they're not in yours, and then worry about it like that. So it's like a cycle. Obviously, if there's a guy in your base, you got to kill the guy in your base. But so on Capture the Flag, you get into the enemy team's base. You push up pink, you push up yellow, it doesn't matter. You get in that enemy team's base, and then you control the spawns, and then you can throw the flag out. You can come behind them, it doesn't matter. Okay? So now what could potentially happen, and it's something I really want to come back, is the fact that power positions may come back to being relevant. Now, we saw it a lot in Halo 2, obviously in Halo 1, but Halo 1, it's a completely different ball game, okay? So Halo 2 and Halo 3. And I'll use 2 examples for how I expect the gameplay to be changed a lot. So in Halo 2, you saw a lot of people control top pink 3. Now, pink 3 was a spot that I used to always go to, mainly because I had host, and when you had host in Halo 2, your shots went further, and they did a little bit more damage. Not necessarily more damage, but they did more damage further range, because I could force someone from pink 3 to carbine with no problem. But someone shooting at me from carbine may have to 5, 6, or 7 me, just because of, you know, the shots not registering, even on land. So pink 3 was very, very important. The reason pink 3 was important was because you have the biggest field of vision over the entire map. You know exactly where they're going to be, and you can put shots in everywhere. But it also makes you, you know, it's a high spot to be at. So everyone can see you on the map, so you have to play it very, very slow. You have to play it methodical. You have to know when to jump out. You have to know when to not. So pink 3, the reason why it was so important was, 1, because you could put every shot zone, but the second reason is because you could kill everyone in front of you. You could just annihilate every single thing that challenged you, especially if they didn't notice you. Like, if a guy ran out of their base going up to pink 2, it was a guaranteed I 4-shotted him every single time. I mean, there wasn't... I have something in my eye again. I'm going to go insane. God, what is that? But so, like, if he comes out of that base, like, if he comes out of red and I'm pink 3, so he comes running around, he's just looking around, maybe looking at a car. By the time he even thinks about getting to pink, he's dead. I have him 4-shotted, he's dead, he's on the respawn, my team can push in their base a little bit, because then we have numbers 4 and 3. So that's the Halo 2 reference. Halo 3 reference. This is something that Pistola was really, really known for on Onslaught Capture the Flag. Now, on Onslaught Capture the Flag, I'm sure you guys have seen the Forge map Onslaught. Essentially what it is, it's an arena map. It has 2 ramps on each side that goes up top, and then it comes down to top middle right here, and then on the other side it comes back down and and then this is their base. So it's like this, right? And then it goes up and whatever. So holding top B, which would be top yellow, and holding top A, which would be top purple, for Halo 4 translation, was a good spot to hold. Now, Pistola took it 1 notch above. Pistola used to go from top middle A to top middle B. So you have 2 little platforms here, top middle, giving you a little bit of shelter, and he would poke out and he would control whatever side they were spawning on. He would just excuse me, he would just come out, shoot a couple shots, duck back down, pop back out, or look across, and he would go on killing sprees, rampages, everything up there. And this is where his top players. He would do that for straight ripping. And then on the other side, you had you had a person like Neighbor, or, you know, T squared, or legit kind of not so much because he wasn't really a big power position buy, but like Neighbor and Snipe Down. Snipe Down, obviously, in the 2009 season, Neighbor in 2008 at the beginning. Snipe Down's main thing that he would used to do is he would go into their base, and there was 2 boxes right here. There was like a carbine, so if flag's here, you have 2 boxes right here. 2 little boxes. He would jump on one of those boxes and wait to spawn kill people down there, and he would hold that spot the entire time. Sure, he would jump and throw the flag out, but in this game, you can't throw the flag out. So, you know, he would just sit on the box, clean up some spawn kills, throw some shots down, and then when his team gave him the go-ahead, he would push in. So that's a power position in itself, because you're in the enemy's base as well. So, wrapping this into Halo 4, what I really hope that we see happens here is I really hope maps like Simplex, and I don't think Haven's going to change much. I don't see Haven changing much. Obviously, Onyx. Onyx is all about angles, and it's all about having, you know, the better positioning than your enemy. So you can chalk Onyx up to one of those. But so, like, just taking Simplex, I really hope, like, top pink or the bubbles, which I don't know if you guys have seen the V4 Simplex, but there's like little bubbles going up to yellow. Those are top yellow. I really hope those spots become these power positions that people actually have to hold. And the reason why that's so good is because as a caster and as a fan watching, no longer are you, for the first time person coming in, no longer are you just seeing people just run across to the other side of the map, get in their base, grab the flag, or kill them all, and then run the flag a certain side. What you're going to see is you're going to see people holding top pink, and then you're going to see that guy very rarely rotate out of there. He's going to sit there, he's going to throw in shots all over the place, he's going to be controlling overshoot, he's going to be controlling pink. He's making it obsolete. But on the other side, it could be gold, because you have the light rifle with that speed boost. So the light of fire got a rate of fire increase buff when it's zoomed in. So it's going to be like a fucking machine gun cutting through people. So they're getting the speed buff on that. And so, you know, top gold could be the power position. It doesn't matter where it's at. But if people start holding that and the teams then have to work together, then you're going to see things like the 2-2s or bringing it like 2-2 pushes, like 2 gold, 2 purple. But off the beginning, you know, you're going to have, someone's got to jump for overshot, obviously, because it's too fucking important to not get. So you're going to have those guys going 2-2s mid-game, or really early game too, because someone's going to die and not get overshot. So you're going to have the 2-2s, and then you may see crazy things like where one person sits in the base and throws in shots at the guys running up to purple, a lot like midship with the guy sitting in the window, and then there may be 3 guys who go up to purple. There may be 1 guy high, 1 guy front, and 1 guy straight up the top. You never know, and that's the best part about it, is seeing the game evolve in front of us. And I really hope we get to that place very, very soon. So that's all I have today on Gandhi's Thoughts number 38. We're approaching the 40 mark. I've never done 30 videos. I've never done 40 videos. So I'm thinking I may do something kind of special. I may do like an 06 recap and maybe an 07 combined with it, be like an hour and 30 long show. If you guys have anything you want covered, obviously my email's in my Twitter bio. You guys can feel free to tweet me. It's right there. Bam. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. It's going to be up on YouTube. Throw a comment if you like it. Peace.